Hello, my name is Talia Bejerano, and I've been part of Krembo Wings for the past 11 years, and I've had the privilege of being its CEO for the past 4 years.
Hello, Talia. What has been Krembo Wings' unique contribution to Israeli society?
Krembo Wings is leading the biggest social change in Israeli society in the past decade. Since 2002, Krembo Wings has been educating tens of thousands of children and youth to live together, embrace our differences, and be themselves. We give everyone the opportunity to be a member in a welcoming and accepting community. Every city that opens a local Krembo Wings branch experiences a transformation in its attitude towards people and children with disabilities. We currently have 80 branches throughout Israel, and we see that each city with a branch goes through a similar and beautiful shift. The communities became more accessible physically and more inclusive in the way of thinking. Tens of thousands of Israeli citizens who grew up in our youth movement begin their independent lives in the military and later in the workplace with a set of values that will help them better understand the world, embrace differences, and strive for a more diverse and inclusive society. Directly or indirectly, more than 150,000 Israelis have been touched by Krembo Wings and have been exposed to the movement values. These growing spheres of influence are bringing about a more egalitarian way of thinking in Israeli society.
Where does Krembo Wings work outside of Israel?
As an Israeli organization, we are proud to share our acquired knowledge and experience about building inclusive peer communities with countries around the world. Highlights of our international activities include our 2015 address to the UN Assembly, when our member turned consular Maya Ophir, born with a severe motor dysfunction, described the dire need for inclusion in the social lives of children with disabilities. She told how suffering from social isolation is sometimes worse than disability itself. And that's how Krembo Wings is changing the lives of thousands of children throughout Israel. In 2018, Krembo Wings was proud to have been granted consultative status by the UN on the issues of inclusion for children with disabilities. We have presented our social education model in conferences around the world, including in the US, Canada, Russia, the UK, and Switzerland. In 2019, we led a workshop at the UN ECOSOP conference in Salt Lake City, Utah, on how to empower youth with and without disabilities in creating local inclusive peer communities. Our agenda at these conferences is to share our knowledge and pass it forward so that others can replicate our model of inclusion around the world. In addition, we also set delegation to work with Jewish communities who are designing programs for children with disabilities. In 2018, we sent such a delegation to work with the youth movement in Russia and again to the Ukraine the following year. We presented our model and shared our practical toolkit to bring theory down to practice.
When did Krembo Wings start its activity out of Israel?
As the only youth movement in the world for children with and without disabilities, we have received countless requests to open Krembo Wings branches globally. We are currently looking for the ideal partner to collaborate with us so that children around the globe can find a meaningful place regardless of their abilities or disabilities.
What is Tikkun Olam for you personally?
For me, Tikkun Olam is to educate our children to understand that no person has more rights than the next. What we have in common is that we are all different and we are all equal, and each of us has special needs. For example, I cannot ride an elevator. It is one of my disabilities. We all need to live together in egalitarian communities in which we accept everyone, regardless of religion, race, gender, disability, or socioeconomic status. Our Krembo youth will grow up to vote, lead, educate, and parent. We see that every town with a Krembo Wing branch begins to practice the Krembo values, which leads to a better place to live, more accepting, equal, and just. The change will come from our generation, whose responsibility is to educate our younger generation that diversity makes for a healthier society. That's a vision I truly believe is within our reach. Krembo Wings, together creating a meaningful place for everyone.